In case you haven't heard, we're moving. So we are in the process of selling off a bunch of stuff in preparation for the move. These Wayfair shelves that I got specifically for the one-of-a-kind show were the next things on the list. And just by looking at them, you wouldn't think that they've been actually sitting on Facebook Marketplace for the last few months. What you don't see is that I actually strategically placed these decorative pieces of paper on them in order to hide the damage I caused to the veneers. I do mention this in the listing, so I'm not hiding them from potential buyers, but it has deterred a lot of people from wanting to purchase it. But I understand why people wouldn't want to finish them or refinish them themselves. So in order to sell these, I'm gonna fix it with this veneer kit that I purchased off Amazon. If you're new here, I'm Joanne from Jo's Abode. I'm usually building things in my own home, but for the last year or so, I've been helping others update and upgrade their homes as well. I'm also in the middle of a move, so I'm busy designing my new house while selling things and packing other things away in this house. I got one of the bigger kits just to give myself the best chance at this, and this is the one I used. It comes with a sponge, a bunch of wood colored markers, wood putty for filling, wood conditioner. We also have this wood filler in different colors, wax filler sticks, okay, a sanding block, I think these are gloves, and a bunch of brushes, and this for the putty. This is another glove, I'm assuming. So to start, I'm going to sand down these areas and see where it takes me. Some of these areas, although I've managed to get the tape off without peeling this finish, it's kind of bubbled up a bit. I feel like might cause an issue later, but it's not a problem for right now. I applied the putty kind of haphazardly, but I just made sure to fill all the areas that peeled off. I applied it in thin layers to keep it from getting too clumpy, and it was kind of a messy process, so I didn't want to create more work for myself if it's not necessary. It was partway through that I decided to look at the instructions, which unsurprisingly was not super helpful as it didn't actually tell me under which circumstance to use which product. So because these peeled parts are so thin, the putty is basically relatively dry. It does say I should wait until it's completely dry, but I don't have the patience for that. And I'm really not sure how this white is gonna work with this whole thing. So I'm just gonna start sanding it a little bit just to see whether it comes off. It looks like it is coming off. So this is what it looks like after I sanded some of it down. So again, I'm not gonna do anything in order because that's just not how I function. And I'm going to test certain things. I didn't quite understand how to go about this, so I went through trying the different things that were provided. Now that I think about it, I'm pretty sure the crayon and markers are more for smaller scratches, as you can't exactly blend those to make a particular color, so they wouldn't work to patch larger areas like the ones I have. Okay, so I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have to mix a bunch of colors in order for this to work, but I'm gonna walk the dog for now. Yes. So I got back from my walk with Loki, and I think I figured out how to go about this. Oh no. Where's my fluff? Is it on my shirt? Yes. Knew I had it. As I was saying, I just finished my walk with Loki, and I think I figured out how to go about doing this. Yes, okay, I think I have a better idea now. So for this color of board, I used these 4 colors: the walnut, the cherry, the black, and the gray. So black is only going to be used in like very small amounts between this one and the next one I'm going to show you. Okay, so this one clearly has a lot more red in it, and then this one is more yellow. So if I were patching this one, for example, I'd probably go with the mahogany plus, not that, gray again, and with more yellow tones, so probably the deep pine. And of course, I'll be adding some black to it to mimic some of the graining colors. You really do have to figure out the different tones of the wood. So for this one, for example, if I were to do the next one, I would go with something a lot more red. So maybe something like the teak, along with a brown, this is a walnut. Again, oh, nope, this is the mahogany, which could also work. The teak, the mahogany, if I need to lighten it up a little bit, I would add in a cherry. And again, you can't really see it in the video, but there are definitely a lot of gray tones to this. So I would add some gray, and again, with a little bit of black. I just want to mark this moment because that is actually very close. Like, I have paint on here. Like, that is actually super close to what's on this board right now. And I really feel like that all of those years of binge watching those paint mixing videos has really helped me out here. It actually looks pretty freaking good for this color, to be honest. Oh my God. I'm like busy being impressed by myself right now. Even though it might look a little wonky at first, you'll notice that as I layer on the colors, it does start looking more natural. The annoying thing is also that the doors aren't all the same shade of brown, so there was some remixing of these base colors required. For the most part, you just have to make sure that the base color isn't too far off from the color of the board. So when I compare it, you could see it's a bit too warm. Let me add a little bit of gray to that. Whoops, it's a lot of gray. Whoopsies. It's actually not bad. I know it looks lighter, like right now, than the actual board, but don't worry about it. We'll adjust as we go. Then, as you continue to adjust and layer on the strokes, it becomes more natural. I would also suggest allowing a few minutes for each coat to dry so you don't accidentally blend into the color that's already on there. By the last board, I finally figured out that I don't actually have to sand it down. I used a damp paper towel and wiped off the excess putty, which was much cleaner and much easier. Just make sure the board is completely dry before you start the wood filler process. This board had a lot more yellow tones in it, which was why I used a walnut filler with the yellow or deep pine color instead of the orange one I used for the last board. I slowly added black to the existing mixture to get the darker brown colors for this part of the board. You really have to go slow with adding black because just a little bit can significantly darken your color. Then I went back in with more yellows with the new mixture I had to finish up that smaller initial area before touching up the darker tones. Make sure that your strokes follow the grain lines. It was here where I was also so into the process that I was not paying attention to where my big head was and blocked the camera. Sorry about that. And these here are the completed boards. I think they look pretty good considering how obvious the peeled veneer looked before. And once they're back on the cabinet boxes, it's actually barely noticeable. I'm actually surprised at how well this wood repair kit worked because some of the review photos were definitely questionable. It does require a lot of patience, and honestly, I do feel like I could have done a better job if I wanted to spend more time on this. But since I'm planning on selling it, I think it's fine as is. If you want to give this kit a try, I've linked it below. Let me know if you've tried these kits yourself on your own repairs. I'd love to know if there are other / better ways to go about repairing this, because aside from using these wood veneer repair kits or refinishing the entire cabinet, I really don't know what else I could have done. If you found this helpful, please like this video and subscribe to my channel. I provide helpful DIY content by documenting every project I do and all the products that I try. As I've said, I'm also in the middle of a move. We do try to go look at the new house weekly. It's a new build, so it can get a little tricky. We've had no problems up until last week when we tried to bring our contractor just to take a look at the space and get an idea of how to go about doing all the renovations. Long story short, we got kicked out, which I totally understand because it's not fully safe for people to be in the house right now because it's a construction zone. But as we're inching closer to the closing date, I am a little worried that we're not able to access the house right now because I feel like that would just delay us moving in even more. So fingers crossed that we'll regain access soon. I'll keep you posted. Until next time, bye.